टिकटॉकर सना यूसुफ
ने टिकटॉकर को दोस्ती से इनकार पर कत्ल किया।
सब अब जो हमारी सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर
On 2nd June 2025, another wolf was unmasked. The murderer of Sana Yousuf, Umar Hayat, was the man who couldn't take no for an answer. He traveled from his hometown Faisalabad to Islamabad with just one purpose: to either befriend her or end her life. It is important to note here that this crime wasn't done out of passion or an outburst of anger. It was a very calculated execution that was driven by ego, rejection, and a mindset that is rarely questioned in our society. She was a rising TikToker from Chitral. Her TikTok videos were a blend of youthful energy, cultural pride, and raw confidence. Yes, some of her videos were cringe, but let's be very honest, none of them were vulgar or a real threat to the society. Sana Yousuf was just a teenage girl enjoying the internet like millions do. But behind that screen, someone was watching. A 22-year-old guy, Umar Hayat, wasn't just a viewer. He was consumed by the desperate need to connect with her. No from her became a wound on his ego until he finally acted. Umar was constantly spying on her, tracking her every movement, sitting outside her house and waiting for her to be alone, looking for that perfect opportunity where he could finally sneak in the house. As soon as he found the opportunity, he sneaked in and shot 2 bullets right in her chest. After shooting her, Umar didn't just flee. He took her phone with him, trying to erase every trace of his crime and basically getting rid of every evidence that could be used against him. This case soon exploded across social media. The mounting pressure forced the police to act very swiftly.
जो हैं, चाहे वो सोशल मीडिया से हैं, प्रिंट मीडिया से हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया से हैं, या उनके फॉलोअर्स हैं, या बाकी पब्लिक के लोग हैं, दे आर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन. वो पूछ रहे हैं.
Umar was soon caught and shockingly he confessed everything, but not with remorse or regret, but with chilling confidence, openly explaining exactly what he did and why he did. Police called this case the case of repeated rejection.
बंद क्यों कर दिया गया? Basically, there it was a case of repeated rejections.
But this story is not just about the murder. This story is about the psychology of men who kill when their fragile egos are bruised. But how does rejection turn into murder? To understand this, we need to go deeper into the mind of a man who saw girls no, not as a boundary, but as a personal attack. It's about a mindset, a fragile masculinity that turns obsession into violence. Now let's talk about the psychology behind it. Victim play and justification of crime. Umar Hayat claimed that he came to Islamabad carrying gifts, birthday presents for Sana Yousuf. In his mind, these gifts were a token of affection, a way to break through her walls. But Sana didn't see it that way. She refused to meet him. For Umar, this refusal was not a simple no. It was a blow to his ego and a challenge to his sense of control, and he was definitely very determined to get it back. This rejection ignited a very dangerous fire inside him. A fire that only ended with Sana's life. What's chilling is how these killers like Umar justify their crimes in their own minds, turning rejection into a twisted reason for violence. Toxic masculinity and obsession. Umar wasn't just interested in Sana, he was obsessed with the idea of owning her attention. Every rejection from her wasn't a signal to stop. It was a challenge for his pride. And this is exactly where toxic masculinity seeps in. A belief that a man's worth is tied to control, dominance and getting what he wants. A belief that teaches some men to see women not as people, but as objects, pieces of meat, commodities, and even slaves to be possessed or controlled. To Umar, Sana's refusal was not at all about her feelings or boundaries. Instead, it was a threat to his ego and his identity as a man. And in his twisted, senseless, so-called logic, if he couldn't have her on his terms, he would just kill her. This is not the story of just one man. It's pretty evident that there are hundreds of such men, and some even revealed themselves. All of these men would surely do the same if they ever get a chance. I strongly believe all of these are a poison to our society. It is extremely shocking and disturbing to see the number of men leaving comments like this. They're literally celebrating the death of a 17-year-old girl. I don't understand the audacity of these men. They flooded the comment sections with mockery, laughter, and disgusting justification, often in terms of religion as well, as if her murder was some kind of victory that they got. It is extremely important to always remember that no one, absolutely no one, has the right to kill anyone, especially in the case of a 17-year-old girl who just made TikToks. This mindset starts very young, where boys learn what it means to be a man from their parents, from their surroundings. If they're ever taught to hide feelings, ignore consent, and see women as objects, tragedy becomes inevitable. Parents must step up and teach respect, empathy, and emotional honesty to boys. Boys need to understand that no is absolute and not a challenge at all. It's extremely important here to not forget the role that Pakistani drama industry has played over the years in glorifying the dominance and the control by men. I'm repeating, if this does not stop, then these cases are bound to happen. If we don't act now, more lives will be lost in the name of obsession, entitlement, honor, and violence. It's high time that we break the cycle by promoting healthy masculinity and respect for boundaries. We need to condemn this as much as possible, and we also need to ask ourselves, is our silence also a part of the system that teaches men that they can kill and still be celebrated? Tell me in the comments, what do you think needs to change in our society to stop men from thinking that rejection can be the reason to kill?